see and welcome Dean Tunku also here. And since we generally belong to so-called traditional universities, for us, to demean us, to insult us, to that, you are traditional. And I am proud of being traditional because I have a culture. You don't have culture. Professor Rao, you should be proud of your association with Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh University, where Professor Murthy was. So friends, when I am speaking before you, please pardon me if I say something which hurts your feeling. That I don't mean. Because I am here not to hurt anybody's feeling, but to see how we all can collectively work and improve legal education in our country. I have been unfortunately associated with a national law university, and that was Ranchi. Most unfortunate. I am always proud of being former Dean of Law School, BHU. But I will never say that I was Vice Chancellor. If you want to understand my pain and suffering, please go through the report of 7th April 2017 published in Telegraph. When law university is established, Chief Minister promises, make it global. I do not know whether they understand the meaning of global, but they will say global. But when time comes to give money, they say, we have very limited money for you. You are a self-financing institution. Arrange it. And when I met IS officers, they told me, why don't you try corporate social responsibility? We also teach corporate social responsibility. Understand, no industrial house will give you money. They will give you money simply when are associated with the ruling government or with the think tanks of ruling organization. So that is the situation. Why do you establish? Bangalore was all right. That was kind of experiment. And I will come to that point, why that experiment was made and why we should appreciate it also. But before that, I would like to say, when we talk about sweets, then we say, Imirti of Jaunpur, Beni Sahab. Then we say, Peda of Mathura, Sari of Kanjivaram, locks of that, like that. Did they get any accreditation from anybody? Did these industries have received any accreditation from anybody? They have not. They have earned goodwill over the years and publicity by mouth. Today is the day of advertisement. And if nobody is appreciating you talk about yourself. Go on saying, look, I am. And that's why there is a culture of CV. CV? Was that all? CV, we say we have done. And this is again the culture of Banaras. If someone is meritorious, extraordinary, then others will realize, others will say, look, he is a scholar of this or that. But anyway, when I am speaking, I visualize the presence of two great legal education stalwarts. One is Professor Anandji, and another is Professor N.R. Madhavamena. And when we talk about legal education, we should realize the context and circumstances in which Banaras Hindu University took a lead in introducing 3 years, 6 semester course, along with 5, 6 practical training programs. Before I joined Ranchi, a vice chancellor of National University, we have legal method. हमने को what? You have legal method. We have legal method since 1965. We have moot court. This is not an innovation. It has all been part of our curriculum since 1965. Those who do not know may please consult Dean's report, Banaras Law Journal, 1965. So we all have that. What is common in Professor Anandji and Professor N.R. Madhavamena? Both were not original. Don't give unnecessary credit. They understood the need of the time and tried to transplant an American system in the Indian soil. That is J.D., Juris Doctor. So Juris Doctor course was designed by American legal legislators in the context of what was happening in the domain of legal theory there. You all know, since 1930s, there has been upsurge of legal realism in jurisprudential thinking. And before that, Langdell has said law is logic. And Holmes Jr. said, no, the essence, the life of law is not logic. The life of law is experience. And realists said, law is politics. Many people say that the judgment is not this way or that way. Judges are not performing this way or that way. Law is politics. And judges are also doing politics. And we should not feel very much concerned about that. It is their job to do politics. And therefore, students may read Griffith and Bux's Politics of the Supreme Court. So that was the time when law was related to social context. And what Professor Anand did, JD from there, along with 4 or 5 practical training courses. I will come to that point. And now, by 1977, critical legal studies movement started. That was a left wing of jurisprudence at that time. And it took place in various forms, you all know. That is feminism also, critical race theory also, modernism, postmodernism. And I am very happy that postmodernism solved my problems. There is not one truth, there may be various truths. There is nothing like absolute, so it is very good. Because I generally try to speak truth, and that's why I suffer also. And my old student, Dharmendra Mishra, advised me not to speak truth. So when we are talking about legal education, we will try to hide, not to speak truth. And there is a saying, look at the face closely, it will make you weep. And that is the situation about legal education. I am particularly in favor of what Modi said by way of slogan at the time of 2019-14 elections. Minimum government, maximum governance. So I also want that let law school decide their course. By Bar Council is not competent. I do not want to make any comment on the working of Bar Council of India. I know how they do work. And that's why if you come to the main question, that is governance and regulation, I will say in the present circumstances, this is not a very difficult question to answer. What is required? Management. And management requires jugaad. Management requires jugaad and Ganesh Parikrama. We have 100% tolerance to corruption. Try to understand what is needed. Do that and you will get the work done. So that is not the issue. We know how these problems can be solved. But Major General Nirmal Kumar had posted something yesterday. How can you destroy a nation? There is not necessary the use of atom bomb or missiles. Just lower the quality of education by allowing students to do cheating during the examination. And that nation will be ruined forever. That is what is happening. That will continue to happen because we do not want to face truth. If we muster courage to, then we can solve this problem. After all, we have been associated with so many committees. We know how recognition is granted, how accreditation is granted. Everything is well known to us. So in the last, I will like to say, what is talisman for assessing whether our legal system has achieved its goal? Situation is today what it was when I was a student of LLB final year. So long as study was going on, no problem. But when the results were to be declared, I became worried what would be my fate, what would be my destiny, what would be my future if and when I complete my LLB. So talisman is whether we have prepared our students to such extent that they do not have any worry about their future. If that is, then we have been able. And if not, then we are still to work hard. Thank you.